How's everybody doing out there, guys? It's John out here with you, and if you haven't noticed so far, I ended up picking a PlayStation Camera. I want to talk about a few other things as we get into this commentary. Also, other things I want to do in the channel. I told you before I had the Sports Day and the D radio show. I would talk about all things Detroit sports, collegiate sports, and then it wasn't just a sports show, so I might have to end up rebranding it. I'm not sure, but I would talk about technology and just a few other things that are on my mind. So Detroit sports related technology and stuff that was on my mind. That's pretty much what I would end up doing. And now, with the PlayStation Camera, because I've been looking into it, don't mind the dirty mess, everything back there. I'll have to try to find some other ways to end up getting this camera and placing it, maybe green screen, things like that. But I've been looking into it, broadcasting and stuff like that, because I'm working at the Oakland Press and covering local high school sports. I've been doing that for about 6 years. And I really like that job. I like everything else that's been going on with it. But now I'm at the point where, man, it's just tough. Because I'm working a job that's, I can't really go too far in it. I got cerebral palsy, I got other things going on. It's hard to get around, not walking wise. I'm fortunate with all that stuff, but I'm driving around. I can't drive on the expressway. I'm kind of limited to being a homebody. I got a job that's like 45 minutes from my house. I can make some extra money and things like that. I end up liking making videos all the time and, playing sports games sometimes and doing a few other things. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm getting old, man. I'm 29 years old. And I can't be working, with my journalism degree and everything else, a dead-end job forever. And something eventually is going to happen to my parents, and I'll be in a spot where things are going to get tough. It's just how it is. And I got to try to find some other ways to make things work. Keep people entertained. Keep myself entertained. Keep myself sane sometimes when I'm working late hours. Yeah, I only can work, what was it, like 25 hours? Only get paid for those. I can't do much else after that. But I'm always working late hours. I got 6 to 12 a.m. A lot of times I get home 1 in the morning. A lot of times I end up working later because I have to. It's 24 hours, but I work more hours, and I work about 32 hours a week. That's just the way it is. That's a job. At least I'm making some money, having some money on the side. I'm doing all right, but I want to try to do more. And I really don't know what the hell I can be good at. Whether it's just sports and everything else and talking, you have to have a gift to do that and keep people entertained. But it's hard. I need a sit-down job, and I went to school for journalism. I got my liberal arts degree. I went at Oakland University for journalism after that, after I went to the community college, and you know what? I went into a media. Honestly, it was my fault too, of being in a spot where it's tough. And it's hard to try to find other things. You have to actively pursue. You can't just be a bump on the log, and I get that. I've worked there for 6 years. I learned some things for about 3, and then I kind of got set in my ways, I guess you could say. And now I'm 29. I wish I was 26 and, doing something like this. And look at it, balding head, gray hair. I don't know if you could see all that in the camera. I'm getting old, man. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I try to do everything the right way. I try to, do what I can. But I know I need to do more in terms of actively trying to find things to do to be able to make more money. That's legal, guys. Here, no jokes. But just try to keep myself entertained too, and do the right things and try to save myself from the monotony. And maybe, honestly, I like making these videos and doing all that, but the $60 camera is a much cheaper alternative than buying fancy audio equipment. Yeah, it'd be nice to have all that. Have the nice omnidirectional microphone in front to speak to you with the little shield in front so it stops out all the P pop sounds and the S sounds all the time. And being able to talk about stuff every single day and have millions and millions of views and be able to monetize and do all that stuff. And I get it. I'm late to the game. I'm old. I'm 29. I understand that. But it comes a point in time where, I've been doing this stuff for 3 years on Your Listen. You can check my stuff. I always have it on there, yourlisten.com/TBUGunslinger. You can check some of it. I'm not lying to you. I got maybe 4,000 or 5,000 views. And that's not really views because you don't watch it, you're listening to it. There's some of the play-by-play stuff that I did in basketball, or some of these other things. You know what? I do it, it's entertaining, but at the same time, I want to be able to make sure that people are actually fucking watching it and enjoying it. Because doing it for yourself is great. It is great, but at some time you want to have payoff. And you want to be able to just work hard and know that your hard work is actually being reached out and appreciated by somebody else. And that takes a lot of fucking work and a lot of opportunity and a lot of the same things over and over again to be able to actually have that happen. And you know what? You got to start somewhere, and I'm starting here now with this camera, and we'll see how everything goes. Because if I end up bringing sports shows, I got all the NHL 17 beta videos and things like that. I could do a lot of stuff like that, where I could just do commentaries and things. And I want to try it, because we'll see how good this camera is, and on top of that, I can also tell you how good the camera is. Whether it's worth the $60, it's also be something else that we can do. So we'll see how everything goes here, and we'll see if this can be fun. Because honestly, I'm not going to stop making videos, because you can make videos as long as you got the PlayStation 4, and I like that. Didn't have to have the camera. But if it actually works and you can actually see my face and put things side by side, screenshot some things, put a screenshot here, a video here, my face here, gameplay here, it's nice to be able to do all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. So halfway through the video here, apologize for all the other stuff up front, but let's talk about where we're at so far. So last time we left off on part 4 of the video, we ended up getting the facility key after fighting the giant mutation and the centipede, helping Rebecca out as we gave Billy the hunting gun and finished everything off. What we ended up doing so far in the video was opening both facility doors. Those were the doors with the red motif. He ended up getting the lighter fluid that opened the door for Billy to be able to get the Book of Good, with Rebecca to get the angel wings. So now the white statue is all set, and now you have the needle in terms of the other door that we opened in the red door that lets you put the hour hand on the clock. The solution to this puzzle comes from the very beginning. When we played part 4 of the video, you were able to get to the one door that had the crank handle, and it's at 8:15 the meeting was. So now all you have to do is set the hour hand and the minute hand at 8:15, and it's going to open a few more doors here in the Resident Evil Code Veronica Throwback Mansion. Minus God, what's his name? I keep forgetting that stupid guy's name. Alfred from Code Veronica, and his dumbass voice actor where he goes, hey, Claire, or something like that. I don't know, he's really, really bizarre. He's really bizarre. So, now that those doors are open, and now that you have the statue and everything else, we can cut through. We already put the statue away. I'm going to combine these two herbs, and we're going to take you here to the first 2 white doors to go through that those doors actually open. So there's going to be a few cuts in here in order to get to a 15-minute video, because I believe, again, SHAREfactory only covers 15 minutes of a commentary. And if I end up doing all the stuff I do with the sports segments, you think if you're listening to 97.1 The Ticket, or whatever AM, PM radio stations you listen to, it's always 15 minutes and a commercial break. So that's how I ended up always getting used to everything. So that's pretty much how we're going to end up doing it here. I'll just have to make sure I shorten some of my stuff to 15 minutes or have multi-parters if I got more things to say, because sometimes there just is a lot to say. So, especially if you're talking about sports topics, we're already talking about a lot of other things here in these videos. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on with Colin Kaepernick. I guess I could probably throw that out in this video here. Kind of think of Colin Kaepernick as the same viewpoint right now as some of these zombies for some of these people. Now, I'm not advocating shooting the guy in the head, but you talk about a lot of people that are actually upset about what the guy's been doing, about sitting down and not standing for the national anthem, Pledge of Allegiance, any of that kind of stuff like that. It's I want to be honest here, guys, and tell you he's lucky to live in the United States of America, because if you try to do that kind of stuff in other countries, I can't help but think that bad things happen. You know, you're able to get away with a lot of things that you wouldn't be able to get away with in other countries. And quite honestly, you're able to practice a lot of the things, and as long as you're good to other people and you treat people the right way, you're able to actually live the life that you want to live. And I'm just glad that if he's practicing this stuff, he's doing it here. Because even though, I'm going to be honest with you, I do think it's a little bit of a disservice. I think anytime you have the Pledge of Allegiance, you have the national anthem, you have things like that where you're supposed to stand up for what you believe in and all of that, I get it. But at the same time, with a country that's so divided, when you had things like wars that people didn't believe in, when you have the Vietnam War, 9/11, or things like that, there's things on a daily basis where there's senseless killings and shootings and violence and things like that all across the United States. That at one time for me, especially when you want to feel together and feel like everything is going to happen for you and feel good, that's when you all stand for the national anthem and you feel united as one. And you feel united and you feel happy to live in the United States, being able to live your life and, you know, granted the freedoms that everyone has given us, whether they had fought in wars so we could be able to live at home and do the things that we want to do. I mean, man, when you think about it that way, he might not feel that way. He feels everything is segmented and people are being treated unfairly. And I get all that. But for me, it still comes down to when I hear things like that and I understand that the country, I know it's not in the spot we still want it to be in 2016, but when you have the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, and things like that, you're supposed to feel togetherness. That's how I feel every time I listen to stuff like that. And it's a shame that he doesn't feel that way. And it's a shame that other people have to get to the point where they'll say some apathetic things to try to set us back as a country and a society all the time. When we try to take 2 steps forward, we take 3 steps back. That's kind of how he feels. And I can understand that point, but I can also understand it feeling like a disservice for everybody else that has gone through and done everything that they could in terms of whether it would be, you know, sacrificing so we could all live our lives and do what we want to do, so we can make videos like this on YouTube to entertain people. It's a tough road, man. It really is. So that would be kind of stuff that I would be talking about, for example, as I'm showing this video. So it's a lot of other things. It's not just Detroit sports topics, but it's about the hot stuff that's going on right now. It's just certain technology things about games that are coming out, things that you want to appreciate. Just a lot of different kind of stuff. So that's just a take. And we'll see how everything goes here in terms of this video. And so far, like we mentioned, as we're going to close all this stuff out, we went through both of the white doors. Those little leech enemies, you could take them out with fire. You see the little music and stuff that plays. You want to make sure you do that. You put the microfilm in, you got the puzzle solution by putting in the disc. This opens up the doors for the knights to be able to move the sword so we can get into the next area. When we get into Resident Evil Part 6 walkthrough commentary, we're going to get through some of these doors. We're also going to find the Statue of Evil so we can balance the 2 areas there and get through the next door. So I appreciate you guys listening. Facebook.com/ChibirGunslinger, Twitter @JohnRineout. This is John out signing off with the commentary. Peace out.